Dum dum da dum dum da dum da 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 dum dum. I started off with Star Wars, completely lost it, and went to Jurassic Park. Dum dum da da dum dum da da dum dum.
We could survive that. We could survive that. We could survive it. Hello and welcome to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the movies. My name is Jack, and today I'm joined by a man who I thought smelled bad on the outside. It's Chris.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Could Survive That. Do you like how my new intro? I thought I'd test it out today.
I did not like it.
Okay, forget that then. But hello, everybody. Yes, I've always been told I smell bad on the inside. No, outside.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming I smell quite putrid on the inside, especially if I've died in the cold and been cut open with a lightsaber.
Yes.
Yeah, what? Oh, I've just realised that's like the one and only time Hans used a lightsaber.
Yeah. Would you like to hear other options for your introduction?
Yes, go on. What else you got? Have I got to respond to them all?
You can just say yes or no, better or worse than...
Alright, go on.
Never tell him the odds. It's Chris.
I like that one better.
Or he has a bad feeling about this. It's Chris.
Yeah, I quite like that one as well, to be honest. I like them all.
They were all better than the first one, I think.
No, I liked all of them. There's probably millions more you could have done from any other Star Wars film.
The Force is with him. It's Chris. He's
the chosen one.
It's
Chris.
Darth Maul's hairdresser. It's Chris. Today's show: The Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars, Episode 5.
You seemed a bit hesitant there. Did you forget the name?
No, I got that all the wrong way round. I was talking Yoda speech.
So Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
That's just what I said, but
in
the right
way,
order.
Which is obviously the second film of the original trilogy.
So we kick things off in this film with the Empire desperately searching to find Luke and his buddies in the rebellion, and turns out that Luke and all the rebels are hiding out on Hoth, which is a strange place to choose because it's very cold. Go somewhere tropical, nice
Why?
and warm.
What? Why does it matter what the weather's like?
It's very cold, and
So?
also tactically speaking, all the rebel people are going, oh no, it's too cold for our snow speeders to work at the moment. We have to modify them. Go somewhere where you don't have to modify your snow speeders, and where you've not got to go out on tauntauns. And where if you're outside at night, you're guaranteed to freeze to death. What if someone leaves the door open one night?
No one's going to leave the door open.
You've wiped out the whole rebels just by leaving the door open, and they've all frozen to death. Well, everyone apart from Chewie, because he's covered in hair.
You really want me to answer these? I will batter you on this. There's nothing wrong with Hoth. It's probably a planet of great strategic importance. It hides them from the Empire for a significant amount of time. How do they find them on Hoth? Somebody tells them, don't they?
No, they send out scout droids.
Oh, the little... Yeah, I remember now.
And they take a picture of the shield generator that the rebels are using, and that's how Vader finally finds
It's
them.
probably because, the indigenous species on that planet are big Yeti-like monsters.
Wampas.
That's it. Offer little resistance, really, to, blasters. So... they get
You can
in
just
on
shoot
there.
them in the face.
They can just push them out of the way. It's basically an invasion of Hoth.
Yeah, they've taken over. Speaking of Wampas, first couple of deaths are just the tauntauns, basically. The horses of Hoth, if you will. Will you? No, you won't.
No, I will not.
You will not allow that. So a Wampa takes out the tauntaun that Luke is riding just before he goes to check out the droid. And then when Luke wakes up, his legs have been frozen on the roof in the Wampa's cave.
How the hell did a Wampa do that? I mean, I understand he's got the strength to pick him up, but it must have been like the Wampa must have picked Luke up, held his feet against the ceiling,
and then thrown water at it.
And held him until it froze. Either that, or there's a block of ice, and he shoved Luke into there so hard his feet just went through and got stuck, and Luke's actually broken both his ankles.
Yeah. No wonder he has such a hard time walking after that. Yeah, I have no explanation for that.
No, I've never really thought about it until now either.
No.
I'm going to go to Reddit and check it out. It's the only logical place I can think to go. But continue.
Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia
Go
probably.
to Wikipedia. Okay, Luke gets out of that using the Force and the lightsaber and then indulges himself in Obi-Wan's old hobby of lopping off limbs. So there's now a one-armed Wampa walking around Hoth. A very sad one.
Do you think it survived or do you think it died? I mean, the lightsaber would have cauterized the wound, so it didn't bleed out. But the shock to the system, what do you think?
I don't know.
What's the life expectancy of a Wampa?
I don't know. How
Okay.
come Wampas aren't intelligent, but Wookiees are? Because Wookiees, you can have a conversation with a Wookiee. Could you have a conversation with a Wampa?
Maybe not. I don't know. Just Wookiees have access to higher, brain functions, and the Wampas don't. Maybe the Wampas do have conversations, and they
In
are
which
quite
case,
intelligent.
Luke's just disarmed a sentient thing.
Yeah.
Maybe the Wampa was trying
Would it-
to help. Because
Regardless of whether it's got higher function thinking or it's sentient, it knows it exists.
yeah. Damn, Luke.
Why are there
Obi-Wan's been a bad influence.
Why are there no Wookiee Jedi?
There is a Wookiee Jedi, but Old Republic, probably not canon anymore.
Oh, is there? Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I've always wanted to see one.
So Luke escapes the Wampa cave. The Wampa's all sad. And then another Tauntaun dies, which we touched on. Dies of the cold.
And then they
And then
slice it
Luke-
open. Which is weird,
yeah.
because if you think about it, the Tauntaun's should be able to hold out against the cold longer than what humans can, but the humans
Yeah.
out-survive it.
Also,
So-
why did Han go outside? Why didn't Chewie go out? Because Chewie's covered in
Because Chewie
fur.
can't ride one of the Tauntauns.
Maybe he can
No, I don't think they'll be able to lift his weight.
lift his weight. No, yeah.
No,
should be.
no,
Get two.
Chewie
Get
probably
two
weighs
in a
an
little
absolute
carriage. And Chewie's in
Are you
like a little
kidding? How are they going to get a carriage with wheels through?
Well, not
fucking
wheels.
snow?
You could you're
Can't
in
hover.
Star
The
Wars.
hover
you
doesn't
can-
work. Hover doesn't work.
Shit. Work quicker on the speeders so they work in the cold.
Why don't they just go out on one of the, their ships? Oh, those are the snow
Well,
speeders.
those are the snow speeders, and they don't work in the cold. Again, go somewhere tropical.
Oh, right. Okay, go on.
So yeah, I have no explanation for. Maybe Han's coat is lined in Tauntaun fur. Yeah, first person to die is Admiral Ozzel.
Admiral what?
Ozzel.
Ozzel.
That's his real name.
Ozzel, yeah.
And he is the admiral of the space fleet that are tracking down the rebels. Vader is not happy with him because he comes out of lightspeed too close to Hoth. So they've lost the element of surprise, and when Vader's told this, he's in his little medical pod thing. He turns around, turns on the big screen. Admiral Ozzel is there, and he goes, "Oh yes, Vader, we've come out of lightspeed. We're going to," and Vader begins the Force choke. Very not happy with him.
Through a screen.
Through the screen. It's the Force. It reaches everywhere. And then Ozzel dies.
I got a couple of questions. Coming out of lightspeed too soon, is it too soon or too close?
It's too
to
close to the planet, so they're
So basically,
able
he should
to
have come
be-
out of lightspeed sooner.
and then then he'd be far enough away from the planet, then they wouldn't be able to track them or something.
Okay, second question. So, does Vader only need a visual link with somebody to then force choke them? So if he sent a drone down and got it to Rebel base, could he force choke Luke if he saw him?
I don't know. Again, you're asking questions I don't know the answer to.
Ask
Ask George Lucas.
I'll ask Disney. They're the bosses now. But yes, it's quite simple to survive this one. Follow your orders properly and don't come out of lightspeed too close to the planet.
Yeah. What was Ozzel's predecessor killed for?
Oh, he fucked up doing something as well, didn't he?
No, well, find out what he was killed for, and then don't make that mistake. That's how the Empire get better and better.
He might not have died. He might have retired.
Oh no, he was probably definitely killed.
Do you reckon?
Yes, the Empire get through people quite quickly, especially if
So why
Vader's
didn't
in charge.
why did more people keep joining up to it then?
Job satisfaction.
I mean, why would you join the Empire to be a stormtrooper and hopefully to then rise up through the ranks, knowing that there's Darth Vader and the Emperor who are Sith Lords? Although I'm guessing, to be honest, most of the people in the Empire probably don't believe in the Force.
Yeah, in A New Hope, in that meeting thing, one of the generals or the higher ranking people is going, "Oh, the Force is hokey, oh," and then Vader force chokes him. He's not laughing anymore.
No, that's true. Although he lives, that guy, doesn't he?
He does live, yeah, because Grand Moff Tarkin's like, Vader, stop it, release him, and he does. So yeah, maybe if Moff Tarkin was still alive, Vader would be on more restrained, but
He'd be force choking that guy, and then he'd see on the TV in the background
Moff Tarkin just
Tarkin's
wagging his finger at
and
him.
the Vader would be like, "Oh, for God's sake,
Shit.
sorry, Dad."
Sorry, Moff. Yeah.
But just follow your orders better. Come on, you should be better prepared than this. You should know that coming out at the distance you have, you're going to alert the rebels to your presence.
Yeah. He's not great at his job, and he also didn't want to go to Hoth originally, and Vader gives him a stern telling off then as well. So
Does he not?
He's in Vader's bad books.
Wait, why does he want to? When
He just goes, oh, it could be smugglers or anything, or he's just going, we won't go there. And Vader's like, he's definitely there. If I was Ozzel, I think be less good at your job. Don't get promoted to Admiral, and then you're not in the firing line.
No, be better at your job, get promoted, and exceed. Become the new Emperor.
Become the new Grand Moff.
The new Grand Moff.
Take over Moff Tarkin's role.
Yeah, did anybody ever replace him? Well, somebody must have replaced him. Was his title Grand Moff Tarkin?
Yeah.
Or his name was his name just Tarquin?
Tarkin.
Tarkin. So Grand Moff was his title.
His title, yeah.
So yes, somebody must have replaced him then.
Or maybe there was a period of mourning. Because he was in charge of the Death Star, that was his role, and there's no Death Star in this, so they probably retired it until the next one, when they build the second Death Star.
Alright, yeah, fair enough, that makes sense. Continue on.
Alright, next death is on Hoth, and it's Luke's co-pilot in the Snowspeeder Dak, who can take on the Empire all by himself, but he never gets a chance to.
No, I can't help but think, had he been allowed to do this without Luke weighing him down, he would have fared much better.
If Dak was in the pilot seat instead of Luke, then he could have taken out everyone single-handedly.
Yeah, I want to see that switch around, because it's Luke's fault they get shot down, I reckon.
Well,
Being a bad flying on Luke's part,
yeah.
come on.
Luke is...
Doesn't even try to save him at the end, just leaves him in there for an AT.
Yeah, to crash.
To stand on him. I keep saying AT&T.
TNT.
That's a phone company.
So they're flying at one of the Imperial walkers, and Dak's fiddling around with the harpoon thing, trying to get it ready. And then there's a shot. I don't think the shot comes from an Imperial walker because they're in front of them. A shot comes from somewhere, it hits the part of the cockpit that Dak is in, and explodes in his face, and Dak dies. What do you do?
Are we sure he dies in that moment and didn't simply
Yes,
lose
because
consciousnness?
no, he definitely
and then
dies.
dies when he gets squashed. Why does
No.
Luke try to pull his body out then?
Luke doesn't try to pull his body out.
Yes, he does.
No, he's going for his grenade and stuff when he gets out.
Oh, I thought
He's not trying to pull him out.
I thought he'd turn round, and when I remember it, it looks like he's trying to pull Dak out, and he can't because he's like wedged in his seat, whatever.
No, that's not why. He's going for the grenade so he can claim vengeance for Dak later on.
Oh, so he left his body there then? Yeah, nice, Luke.
Well,
you
he's about
dick.
to be crushed by a walker. There's not much he can do, and if he did pull his body out, he can't carry it all the way back to
Use the Force,
where
levitate it.
Levitate it.
A Jedi during the actual Republic easily be able to just float that body along with them.
Yeah, but he's not a Jedi yet, is he?
He never becomes a Jedi. And at no point is he an actual Jedi.
Okay, you're Dak. Stop
Right.
focusing on Luke's
All
lack
right.
of Force ability.
I'm angry at that. Yeah. Well,
Try.
first,
May I try and do one of your crazy things? See the laser coming at you, and then deflect the laser with another laser.
I'm not sure if that works. I've never seen what happens in Star Wars if two lasers hit midair. It must have happened at some point. They might
Doesn't
just pass
have
right
to have
through each other.
happened.
No, that's true. I can't help but think they'd either hit it, the lasers would hit each other, possibly deflect off each other and fire a different way. What if Dak done that and the laser deflected right back at him? You'd feel like an absolute moron because you've just shot yourself down.
He wouldn't feel like a moron for very long because he'd be dead.
Do the Snowspeeders have ejector seats?
No,
Why not?
because
They don't go into space, so they don't need the capability.
Well, they've not got ejector seats.
All right, well, install an ejector seat. That is a massive
Well,
flaw
because
in
they're
the
snow speeders, they don't go high enough for a parachute to deploy quick enough.
Who says you need a parachute? You just have little
Well,
jets
then you
in your
fall
chair.
down and then
No,
you
no,
break
no,
all
no.
your legs.
You just have little thrusters in your chair. Come on, they have jetpacks in this.
No,
Same
Boba
technology.
Fett has a
Yeah,
jetpack.
same-
We don't know
exactly.
how. We only see one jetpack, and it's in the Fett family. It never goes out of the Fett family.
Yeah, but there might be others
The
mass
Fetts
produced.
have the one jetpack.
No, I reckon
in
other,
the whole galaxy.
other mercenaries and bounty hunters would have jetpacks. The technology is not hard to come by. You store it in your seat, and voila, you can eject out, and you can lower the seat down slowly. Done.
Okay, Empires lose one of their Imperial walkers to Wedge. Luke gives him covering fire, so Wedge can do the tow cable-y thing around the walker's legs. The walker trips over, falls down, and then, despite being immune to the blasters of the snowspeeder when it's walking, when it falls over, Luke shoots it a couple of times and it blows up immediately.
Yeah.
How
that
does
makes
that
complete
work?
sense. Oh,
The only
really?
thing that's changed is that its face is in the snow.
It fell
Because
down.
the armour should still be the same thickness.
It's not the armor; it's shielding. It'd be shielding. Because if it was armor, like you said, it wouldn't make any difference whether it's walking or not.
Well,
As it
Luke
falls
does say
down
that
and-
armour's too strong for blasters.
Well, the head hits the ground, and it takes off any shielding because they must have some type of
There's no.
defense on them.
Luke says it's the armour that's too strong.
Well,
for the
Luke's
blasters.
got it wrong, evidently, because he shoots it and it blows up. So the only logical explanation of that is they had shields. When it fell down, hit its head, the shields went offline, and he's able to shoot. Or he hit the exact weak point in which somebody left because they screwed up. It's the same person who designed the Death Star, designed the Imperial Walkers, and left a weak point on them.
Damn, that's a busy designing company.
It is indeed.
You're in that walker. What do? Do you stop walking as soon as you realise? Well, that's what I would do, because if you stop walking, then the rope would just fall off. It might get caught around the things, but then just send someone down with a pair of scissors to cut the cable. Not scissors, pliers or something. Something thick enough to cut the bolts. Just stop walking because he's spinning round.
Did they notice? They might have been focused on something else. Because I think they were getting close to the shield generator, weren't they? So they might be looking at that and not noticed it floating or flying
Not
underneath
notice
them.
the snow speeder going round several times.
Well, yeah, if he's flying quite, tight, close to the legs, he'd be going underneath the head, so they wouldn't see him.
Well, they'd still see them doing the approach thing, and they might have scanners or something.
I don't know.
Or they've got radio connections with the other walkers, so they'll go, hey Dave, there's a snow speeder trying to tangle your legs up. You should probably stop walking
Well, here's
so
the
you
thing.
don't fall over.
Perhaps they did notice it and they tried to stop, right? But perhaps because of the momentum of it, it takes a while for it to stop walking. You know how in a car you hit the brake, but you don't stop instantly, do you? Obviously, push the brake harder, the faster you stop, but you won't stop.
Yeah, but
instantly.
that's because of the wheels. The wheels still turn. This is a walker.
Yeah. Well, perhaps its feet still move.
Well, you could
It
just
might have been sliding in the ice.
leave it standing on 3 feet.
What?
Just,
No.
And then just slowly put the foot down.
Alright, obviously they don't have control over these. This is probably their first day using them. They have no idea
They
how
never
to move
bust
them.
these things out ever.
No, they've
Well,
never
we don't
used them.
see them in the Clone Wars, do we?
No, so I can only assume they came in afterwards.
Mm.
This is the first and only time that we see the big ones. We see
Oh
the
no, we
smaller
see them.
ones
We see
on-
the big ones. We don't see them. Oh no, but yeah, we see them in Return of the Jedi. That's where Luke is taken to Vader in one of them
Oh right, yeah, on the
on Endor.
on
So maybe they've got the hang of it by the time Return of the Jedi comes around.
Trying to survive it. I mean, you could say that. Oh no, Luke blows it up, doesn't he? Crap. I've got nothing because the only way in and out of the head is probably just one door. There's no emergency exits I can see. It hits the ground, you're going to be dazed, and then you're shot and you're going to
And
die.
then, yeah, just stop walking. Scanners, don't fall over, don't trip. Next person to die, Rogue 2 is shot down when Luke tries to organise the 2 snow speeders to take out another walker, but as they're flying towards it, Rogue 2 shot down, and then Luke is shot down, but instead of his speeder blowing up, he just crashes into the snow and
Convenient, isn't it?
conveniently just falls down. Whereas Rogue 2, what was Rogue 2 carrying that Luke wasn't? Or
Perhaps.
was he just shot in a more explodey place?
Explodey place, I'd imagine, because he got shot head on, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, they both get shot head on because they're
Head on,
both
yeah.
travelling towards it.
Perhaps without realising it,
He
like the
deflected
shot
the blaster or something.
not necessarily deflected because it still hits, but
Well, moved it so it doesn't
weakens
hit
it.
him in an explodey place.
Yeah, weakens it to an extent. I mean, like when you got a Jedi and it's been shot at, and they're being shot with a blaster and they're using their lightsaber to deflect it. Yes, because they've had training with the lightsaber.
Oh, lightsaber
Hang
window wipers.
What?
Deflects
No!
it from the thing, and then the rain also it stops it. Lightsaber window wipers.
That is terrible. No, because when you've done it, it would then slice through your windows.
Well, no, you just have them slightly away from your windows. You
Where
might
do they-
have to replace
Where
them.
do they
'cause
get
of-
lightsabers from?
Where do
Nobody
they get
knows-
blasters from?
Nobody knows how to make them. Yet Luke figures out how to make one from scratch. All right,
The
whatever.
internet, clearly, Chris.
I watched a deleted scene.
Yeah, it's Luke making
His lightsaber.
in
Yes,
the cabin.
never seen it before. Awesome.
It's because it's a deleted scene.
Yeah, but sometimes I put the deleted scenes back in. But anyway, back to my original point. When the Jedi being shot, their lightsabers, they can deflect the shots. When Luke's doing training on the Millennium Falcon, he's being shot at by the little orb. And
That one bit of training that he
one
does.
bit of training, yeah. And Obi-Wan's saying to him, let the Force guide you, etc., etc. Perhaps, without realising it, as the shot was fired at him, like Luke used the Force without really knowing.
Or
and
maybe he just tries
hang
to
on,
dodge the
hang on.
blaster.
No, that's boring. Uses the Force, and as a result of such thing, it makes him move his speeder in such a way that the shot hits him and doesn't blow up.
So he moves the speeder. You said all that just for he dodges it.
Yes, but my way sounds cool. Makes more sense as well why he managed to hit that exact point. It's better than sheer luck, isn't it?
Or just skill as a pilot.
Oh, really? He's been shot at, so he's like, oh, I know if I move exactly this amount to this way, I'll
Well, it's
survive
not
this
he
shot.
knows, it's there's a giant laser blast coming towards me. I should probably turn away slightly.
He's not even that good a pilot, is he, really?
He blows up the Death Star.
So?
Well, he gets shot down, and then he takes it upon himself to claim vengeance for Rogue 2. Then uses a grappling gun and a grenade and his lightsaber to pull himself up onto the walker, slices the underbelly of it, throws the grenade in, drops down, walker blows up, falls down. It's amazing because he lands right under it. If it had fallen down just squash, then he would have been killed, but luckily it leans over.
If the lightsaber can cut through the underbelly of it and the armor's going to be thick, could he not just slice through a leg?
Well, it might still keep going, and there's a danger that he might be stepped on.
Force jump up and slice through the thinner part of the leg, land, and you could do it. You could easily
He
take
probably
out two of the
can't
legs.
force jump
Luke, you suck!
because he's not a proper Jedi. So he uses the grappling gun.
Alright, yeah.
Well, you can't really have people underneath. The walkers aren't designed very well because they've got poor visibility. If they've not got scanners and stuff, then
They've got people on the head of the walker, haven't you?
I don't know if they've
There
got
must
people
be-
in the belly of
There
the
must
walker.
be other people inside the belly, because otherwise there's no point making it that big at all. So there must be people, or possibly things. It would make more sense if inside the belly were speeders, and like the underbelly opened up and the speeders could drop out, for example.
Yeah,
that
or
would-
like
that would
droids or something.
Yeah, that would make sense for it. So there must be something in the belly, because otherwise there'd be no point making it that big.
Maybe they're troop carriers. Maybe they're
Yeah, exactly. That as well. So, really, when Luke slices open the belly and throws a grenade in, and there's like 100 stormtroopers in there, they just kick
they
the
all
grenade
see
out
the grenade
shoot
and
him.
go, "Holy shit!"
Oh my days.
Or
one
when
of them
Luke
bobbler.
slices open the belly,
They just blast
a
him.
chair and a stormtrooper fall down.
That'd be great. That would make so much more sense.
Or maybe
Yeah.
the main body of it is just where they house all the electrics to make the legs walk and stuff. Or where they keep all the ammo for the blaster guns and stuff.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense, I suppose. It would explain why the one grenade blows the entire thing up.
Yeah.
He must have thrown it right now, like wherever their fuel cells are, or at an ammunition storage.
Yeah, because it goes up quite spectacularly.
Yeah.
And the head blows up and then there's loads of smoke and then it tumbles down to the side.
I would survive this by designing the AT-AT to have a small turret on the underside of their bellies, because that would have shot Luke down, and that could have shot down the snowspeeder that was tying up the first one's legs.
Yeah. You've killed two birds with one stone.
Right,
or
yep, done.
saved two Imperial walkers with one
That's right,
auto
yeah.
turret.
I should wipe the Empire.
You would be terrifyingly efficient.
Oh, I wouldn't you know?
Alright. They make it off of Hoth, Vader's not happy, but then again, when is Vader ever happy? At Christmas
When
parties,
he-
maybe?
First met Padme.
No, he was just creepy then.
Yes, I do
He's
agree.
never been happy. So they make it off of Hoth. The Millennium Falcon is tracked down by Vader and a bunch of other Star Destroyers, and Han decides to go into an asteroid field to try and lose his pursuers. And in the process, 4 TIE fighters are destroyed in the field, along with however many they send in after. But we're going to focus on these 4. 2 of them are taken out by stray asteroids that just go into their path when they're flying. And then the last 2 are killed when they try to get through the same gap on a large asteroid at the same time. They bounce off each other and then they bounce into the walls of the asteroid. So, who has the right of way there, Chris?
Neither. It's just bad flying and bad piloting, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what the training program is for the Empire, whether you need past experience or you can start from scratch. Whatever it is, they've obviously not trained them well enough. Also, the designs of the ships. The Millennium Falcon, obviously round and
It's wide, but when it's on its side, it's
it becomes
quite
really
thin.
I don't see any other ships with that design, but the Millennium Falcon was shown multiple times throughout the Star Wars films, and I'm pretty sure they'll show it again. In fact, they already have in the trailer for Episode 7, fitting through gaps that the TIE fighters then crashed into. Take the hint and make your TIE fighters into the same shape as the Millennium Falcon. This weird square thing you're going on doesn't work.
Yeah. There's a lot of flappy bits that could get caught on things, isn't there? With the Falcon, it's the only thing that really gets in the way is the satellite dish.
Yeah, that gets knocked off. But that's bad flying by Orlando. So
Don't blame Lando.
what's his name?
Lando.
I keep saying Orlando. Why am I saying Orlando? I think I'm fucking Orlando Bloom or something. Lando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, for the ones that crash into each other, one of you just needs to slow down.
Exactly. You can see you're both going for it. Just slow down.
Yeah.
And I bet they're in a competition like, nah, I'm going to get through and get the Falcon. This guy can sod off. And the other one's like, well, no, I'm going to get the Falcon.
And the other two, C-3PO says the odds of navigating an asteroid field are something to a gajillion. Direct quote. No. So it might not be bad piloting. It might just be
The odds are stacked against them.
the odds are stacked against them. Yeah. Someone obviously told them the odds, and they didn't want to know.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm also going to say my thing is redesign of TIE fighters.
Redesign them for asteroids.
Because if you think those are the odds of successfully navigating an asteroid field. Is that for all spacecraft or specific spacecraft? Well, those
C-3PO doesn't show his working out, so
no, but
I don't know.
What you can assume is C-3PO that gave those odds on the specifications of the Millennium Falcon, right? So perhaps the TIE fighters had even worse odds.
Well,
but
clearly the
Millennium
TIE
Falcon,
fighters
they're better.
are smaller anyway.
Yes, but they're crap designs.
So if anything, the Millennium Falcon should have been pelted with lots of... Because it got a bigger thing to aim for.
Yeah, but it can fit through thin gaps by going on the side. Doesn't matter what way the TIE fighters are turning, they're going to be the same dimension. They're screwed.
They're as wide as they are tall.
Yes.
It just slow down. And
Can you not fly above the asteroid field and just watch the Falcon fly underneath and just follow them like that?
that's a good point.
Or go under it.
Space is 3-dimensional, so they don't have to...
So when the Falcon's going through, one goes above, one goes below, and you can just track him that way. You can just watch him go through the asteroid field.
And then when they hide in the big asteroid, then they just go, he's in there, let's blow that asteroid up.
Yeah, rather than sending through bombers, just come back out, go to the Star Destroyer and be like, yo, he's down there. Boom.
Target that asteroid and blow it up.
Done, yes, exactly.
That's a very good point. Why do they just
I
go
don't
above
know.
it?
Above or
It's
below it.
space.
It's so much easier.
Oh. Next lot to die. Well, no. Han and Chewie and everyone are all in. Well, they're in what they think is the asteroid. We'll come on to that. And things are being chewed on. All the electrics are going a bit weird. And Han comes out and he shoots a Mynock, which is chewing on the cables. Now, do we want to survive as a Mynock?
Don't chew on the bloody cables.
Yeah, don't chew the cables. Question: the Millennium Falcon is in the belly of a giant space worm. How did the Minox get into the belly? Were they
Good
eaten
point.
by the giant? Do you know what the giant space worm is called? Firstly,
I don't know. No.
would you like to know?
Yes.
It's called an exogorth.
Exogorth.
Yeah,
It's a cool name. That I like that.
it is pretty cool.
Is this
the giant-
Exogorth born on the asteroid, or do they float through space until they find an asteroid field and like make home on there?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they're like a hermit crab, and they find
Yeah, that
giant
makes sense.
asteroids and live in them.
Okay, let's assume it travels through space, finding an asteroid to live on. Okay. Now, when you get a shark going through the sea, you get little fish, that obviously
Like pilot
nibble,
fish.
Yeah,
and-
they
yeah.
nibble on the bottom of the shark, don't they?
Yeah.
So perhaps these bat things can go through space as well, and they find the big worms, and they do the same thing, except they go inside the mouth and eat like scraps that are left over.
Like clean its teeth.
Yeah, yeah. And that's when it makes home on its asteroid field, they're already there in there. So I think if he ate them, swallowed them, they'd be dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saying that, I do believe Pinocchio was it not Pinocchio? Was it Pinocchio? Who got
Was eaten by a whale? Yes.
Yeah.
Also Jonah from the Bible.
No, yeah. So yeah, people survive getting eaten by big things.
People
like that
survive that
all
all the time. The lawyer
So-
from Jurassic Park, I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
the time. So yeah, there you go. I think the little bird thingies, I forgot their names already.
Minox.
Minox are like pilot fish, and they follow around the worms, and they eat the scraps off the teeth and stuff,
And the cables off the Millennium Falcon.
and cables off the Millennium
Yeah.
Falcon. Yeah,
They get out the asteroid field and they're being chased by a Star Destroyer. They've lost the shields on the back of the Falcon, so Han decides to turn around, divert all power to the front deflector shields, and goes for a full-on charge at one of the Star Destroyers. And C-3PO's losing his mind, going, "What are you doing? The odds of surviving a direct attack on a Star Destroyer are a gajillion to 1." But again, he doesn't listen to the odds.
no, and he survives.
He does survive. He's
He's one in a gajillion.
he sticks the Millennium Falcon to the side of the Star Destroyer, and Captain Needa is like, "Oh dear, we've lost them. I shall go to Lord Vader. I will apologise and accept full responsibility." He goes down to Vader's Super Star Destroyer, apologises, and Vader forgives him by force choking him to death. Don't accept responsibility. Blame someone else.
Straight away, yes. Yes, okay, that's good.
Blame anyone. Blame one of the mouse droids that go around the halls of them. Blame one of them.
Yeah,
Blame the guy that was meant to be tracking the Falcon. Just don't accept responsibility. He killed Ozzel. He'll kill you. What was he hoping would happen? That Vader would forgive him?
yeah, because
Has
he was.
Vader forgiven anyone?
I don't know. He may have done. He may have been like, if he thought he's brutally honest, Vader would be like, I respect your courage. That's fine. I'm going to give you another chance. That's dumb to think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
But that's probably what he's thinking.
Again, sensors. They've not got. Well, I don't think the sensors
have
would have
got
picked it
sensors.
up because,
because
the engines are off and it's
It's attached
like in
to the
stealth
ship.
mode. Yeah.
It doesn't have a cloaking device. He even specifically says that.
A ship that small doesn't have a
Yeah.
cloaking device.
But I agree. I think it's because of everything's shut down. They're running like not cloaking, but like silent mode.
Yeah.
So everything's just shut down, aren't they? Because even when they detach, they don't turn on the engines.
They just float away.
yeah, they
with,
just
with
detach
the
and
rubbish.
float off.
Mm.
So that's probably why the sensors can't pick them up.
Do the Star Destroyers not have windows?
Yeah, they do.
'Cause
But
then
apparently
somebody-
they've got none at the
Yeah,
back.
because when somebody walks by, goes, "Didn't there used to be a window here?" And then they see into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon.
Hans just sitting there picking his nose or
he
something.
just goes, "Shh," and just waves them on, and they're like, "Oh damn, I've had too much to drink this morning."
And lives, yeah.
Yeah.
Hans probably done that a few times, I'd imagine.
Mm.
He's been found.
Yeah, just wave them on. So
But yeah, don't accept responsibility.
don't accept responsibility. Apologise, but blame someone else. Okay, they escape. They manage to float off, but they're tracked by Boba Fett, who does the same thing. He knows Han. He knows all the tricks in Han's playbook, and he floats off. And when the Falcon starts up again, they fly off to Cloud City, where Boba lays a trap for them, and Landau invites them for dinner, And then when the door opens, it's only bloody Darth Vader there, sat down with delicious looking food. And Han tries to shoot him, but Vader blocks it with his hand. And then they all sit down for dinner. My question, what do they talk about over dinner?
My question, what the hell is his hand made out of to deflect blaster shots?
Metal.
Yeah, I know, but I thought blaster would at least cause some damage. It, like, does nothing.
Well, there's Palpatine's lightsaber was made out of a metal that couldn't be cut by a lightsaber, so that maybe that's what Vader's hand is made out of.
I did not know that. So if he was having a lightsaber duel and somebody was to get their lightsaber down to the handle of his, they couldn't cut through it.
Yeah, then Palpatine's saber wouldn't break. Yeah. I'm not saying Vader's hand is made out of that, because it does get cut with a lightsaber, but maybe it's made out of a diluted version of that, so it can just stop blasters.
Alright, that makes sense.
Or maybe the palm of it is made out of something like that.
Do you think the Force played some part in it?
No.
Alright, fair enough, go on.
What do they talk about?
How his hand stopped the bloody blaster shot. That's what I'd be talking about. But
Han Solo's like,
dude, you gotta tell me how you do that, man. That's so awesome.
maybe
so
hokey
stoned.
religions and ancient weapons are a match for a good blaster at your side.
Yeah, that's what he says, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
maybe.
Vader just is like, no.
Changes his mind, yeah. Whatever happens, maybe Han insults Vader, which causes Vader to test out his carbon freezing chamber on Han Solo. Chewie's not very happy about this, and when they're about to put Han in the chamber, he throws some stormtroopers around, and one of them does this.
Woo!
It's a very quiet version of the Wilhelm scream, so
But a Wilhelm scream nonetheless.
exactly. You're a storm. I don't know if they die. They probably don't.
I don't know.
die.
From the Force, alright, we know their armor is piss poor,
Yeah.
and we know Wookiees are incredibly strong. They can like pull limbs from bodies and stuff.
Mm.
So I'm going to assume that being thrown by one with quite some force, there's going to be anger.
Oh, yeah, very-
There's force
Chewie's
behind it.
pissed.
Yeah, so I reckon if not dying, you're going to sustain
Some injury.
some severe damage. I reckon you're going to break something.
Chewie throws 3 of them, and it's the third one that does the Wilhelm scream, because there are two guarding him, and then one comes over to try and break it up. But
Yeah, why does that one
Yeah.
come over? What's he going to do?
I don't know.
The Wookiee, you cannot. You're
You're
not
no
going to
match
beat
for
it in
a
a
Wookiee.
physical confrontation, and you're not going to shoot him, are you?
No, because Vader wants them as prisoners. Han Solo talks him down though after, just to calm him down, because Chewie's got to look after the princess, or maybe
Look after the princess.
look after the princess.
Oh, you know what I'm saying, Chewie.
I don't think he does.
No, neither do I.
No.
I can't speak Wookiee.
Also, fun fact about that scene: George Lucas had wrote the dialogue that Han Solo was meant to say "I love you" back to Leia, but Harrison Ford said, "Listen, George, you can write this shit, but you can't make me say it." Harrison doesn't take any shit. If he doesn't like your writing, he's not going to say it.
Yeah, no. To be honest, it wouldn't seem right for Solo to say that line anyway.
No,
You can see why he wanted to say "I know" instead.
Then Han's put into the carbon freezing chamber, and that was done because they weren't sure if Harrison Ford was going to come back for the third film, but they managed to persuade him back for Return of the Jedi, so that's good stuff. Then some stormtroopers are killed when Leia and Lando and C-3PO and all the others are, and Chewie, I forgot Chewie, are all escaping Cloud City, and then Luke gets his hand chopped off by Vader.
And you have the intense "I am your father" scene.
Would you like to know a fact?
Yes, please do tell.
David Prowse, the man inside the Darth Vader costume, did not know what line was going to be said. He didn't know that the line "I am your father" was going to be there because George Lucas didn't trust him to keep the secret, and he didn't want it to be spoilt. So the
Right.
line that David Prowse said on set was, "No, Obi killed your father," and then Mark Hamill reacted to that. So David Prowse didn't know that he was going to be
That he was
James Earl
Luke's dad,
Jones
right.
was going to dub it over. "I am
Did
your
Mark
father."
Hamilton know that?
He was taken from things that I've read. Mark Hamill was taken aside and told, "Listen, Prowse is going to say Obi killed your father, but in actual fact, James Earl Jones is going to say, Luke, I am your father, and you got to react to that." So they needed a line that
similar that you could get the same reaction to without. Oh, I didn't know that.
Unless
That's quite
David
interesting.
Prowse goes, hang on, that's a bit of an overreaction.
No, well, yeah. I don't get why he didn't trust David Prowse.
Because David Prowse has been screwed over so many times by George Lucas and the company. In his deal, Prowse was meant to be paid, I think, the gross profits of one of the Star Wars films, but it was the profit that the studios can fiddle with, so it makes it look like they've earned no money. So he was essentially screwed out of a large chunk of the profits. So poor David Prowse. So he's not going to be enthusiastic about keeping secrets and stuff that he could sell to a magazine for some money.
Did he play the body of Vader in all 3 films?
Yes.
Well, if he got screwed over in one film, why did he come back and do the others?
He was still getting paid, wasn't he?
Fine, all right, fair enough. I've heard his voice. I've watched scenes from.
It's quite a strong regional accent, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't fit Vader at all, does it? No.
And in the first one, he didn't know he was going to be dubbed over.
Did he not?
No. He
brutal.
realised in the second one, but yeah. I got a nice image of him going, "This is my big role," and taking his family to the cinema. And then when he talks, it's James Earl Jones.
Oh, God, that means he's so cruel, though. That'd be so cruel.
Poor David Prowse.
Ouch.
But yeah, you're Luke. Stop Vader lopping off your hands. The way I see this fight playing out, it's in 3 stages, basically. First stage in the carbon freezing chamber, Vader's toying with Luke, basically. He's doing the one-arm thing. He's not using the Force. He's not really trying. And when he thinks he's got him into the chamber, he's a little bit disappointed. Then Luke kicks Vader off the freezing platform, and then we go into stage 2, which is Vader slightly irritated, using the Force to throw things at Luke, and then Luke's thrown out the window. Then stage 3 is Vader really pissed off.
That's because Luke gets that shot on his arm, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Vader's like, all right, screw this. It's interesting you should say that, to be honest. I was watching that fight scene only a couple of days ago. I was watching a video that compared the 2011 re-release of the film to the 1980 release.
Yeah.
Comparing, how the scenes look different with colours and stuff. And I was reading through the comments, and some people were saying, basically what you say, they're like, oh, Vader's toying with him, and then when Luke gets that shot in, Vader lets him have
loses his mind.
Doesn't lose his mind, but he starts fighting serious, and it's like how quickly Luke gets defeated just shows how inexperienced he is with his lightsaber. If Vader had just done that at the beginning, Luke would have been destroyed instantly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a point where Vader disarms him in the carbon freezing chamber as well. So, and he does, it's more or less the same move that he takes off his hand with. So if Vader had moved the lightsaber, he could have taken off his hand a lot sooner.
So that means if Luke, was paying attention, he would have realised that move and would have been in a block at the second time round.
Yes, if he'd been a better learner.
Oh, Luke is a piss poor Jedi.
He's not good.
Never makes it a Jedi. He's not even a Padawan, I don't think.
No, he's not got the weird... They got a weird braid, the Padawans do.
I like
Obi-Wan
that braid.
has it. I don't. It looks weird.
I
It's
think
a
they look
rat
cool.
tail.
They look cool. But yeah,
No.
I know, that's like a Padawan thing, isn't it?
It's silly. I don't like it. Oh, and Vader fights with this cape on. I know you don't like that.
I guess in the fucking way. Why are you wearing it? He never takes it off as well.
No, I don't think he can.
Yes, he can. It's on like this tiny little chain.
No, I think it's like trapped or placed under his shoulder pads.
That's crap. I would have said to the Emperor, I would have been like, yo, I want an option to remove this cape. I want an option to remove all of this. He does remove the mask,
But capes
doesn't
are cool,
he?
Lord Vader. They're not Palpatine.
No, they
Tough
get in the
shit.
way.
He force lightnings and solders it to if you want to live, you're keeping on the cape.
Oh, great.
Fuck you, Palpatine. I hate you.
He can take off the helmet, because when he's in his little medic pod thing, the helmet
that
comes off, doesn't it? So it's not like he's got that stuck on him permanently. Because I always wondered if it'd been stuck on him permanently, how's he going to eat and stuff?
What, the helmet and stuff? No, he probably takes that off and eats in his little
I can't
pod
imagine
thing.
Vader eating. It's probably why
Well, he has that dinner with Han and Chewie.
He doesn't eat anything, though.
He's eaten before he got there.
Oh, my God. Right, Yeah, Luke should have realised the move if it was the same one Vader used earlier.
It's a very similar move. So
You should have come to a conclusion as well. Obi-Wan told you Vader was his apprentice. Obi-Wan cuts off limbs to the point where you
Obi-Wan
cut
loves
off limbs.
it. That's first
Okay.
lesson when you're being
Vader
taught
will
by
cut
Obi.
off a limb. Yeah, so you should have realised that Vader was going to try and cut a limb off. All right, everyone that goes near Obi-Wan cuts limbs off.
They all love it.
I know. That's why Mace Windu cut off Jango Fett's head, because Obi-Wan was there. It's his presence. It inspires people to
You can
slice and
take
dice.
hands off. I can take heads off.
I know he's trying to up the game, wasn't he?
Yeah. That was Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. If you could survive better, or if we've missed anything out, email us. We could survive that at gmail.com, or tweet We Could Survive, or leave a comment on iTunes. 5 stars would be a nice Christmas present to wake up to. But yeah, if that's fine. And also, older episodes are on YouTube if you want to check them out. You don't have to. Some of them are pretty shit.
Whoa. No, go check them all out.
Chris, end the show.
I will. I'm pulling the plug now.
Pull the plug.
It's gone. Anyways, thank you for listening. You have listened to We Could Survive That, your weekly survival guide to the movies. We'll see you next week, which will be
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Because that's the film after The Empire Strikes Back.
It is indeed. So we'll see you all then. Until then, please keep on surviving. Goodbye.